In this section, we'll be discussing the tools, accessories, and workspace setup that are essential for your lash business. Choosing the right tools and equipment not only impacts the quality of your work, but also makes your day-to-day more efficient and comfortable. Let's break down each tool and accessory, its purpose, and how to create an organized, productive work environment. Finding the right tweezers makes a huge difference in how you perform your lash services. The proper tweezer will allow you to isolate lashes easily and apply extensions with precision. It's important to choose the tweezer that feels balanced in your hand and has the right grip. One of the most important tools you'll use in your lash career are tweezers. Your tweezers are your ride or dice. You have to make sure you find some that work for you specifically because everybody's comfort level is very different. Me personally, I love these that I will demonstrate, and I'll show you some that I personally don't like that can break it or make it for you. So let's start with our isolation tweezers. There's different kinds and variations of isolation tweezers, but these are one of my favorite. Some people like the straight ones that don't have the little L tip. I personally like this one because it's so thin and dainty and it's so soft. I don't have to squeeze my hand to grip it. It just naturally goes ever so slightly. So this is one of my favorite ones. This one is from Borboleta. I just like the little fine tip. That's what I genuinely love about this one, because when I'm isolating, I can grip the skin a little bit and really get in there and isolate that natural lash nicely. So let me demonstrate what I mean. Where you come in and isolate, you can just go like that. And the tip of this, the little L shape, you can hold it out like this. You see how I can come back and kind of push these other hairs out of the way? That's what I love about these L-shaped tweezers that give you that little grip. In the same realm, there's these other tweezers that kind of work the same as well. They're both great. I love them. Personally, I love rotating my tweezers between any of these three because I love the tips. I like how they feel in my hands and they just help me isolate so much better. I've used these style of tweezers for years to come and they make my workflow so much easier. So I highly recommend tweezers like this. This, like I said, is from Borboleta. This one is from Ride Beauty. This one's really nice too. I like the thickness of it and it just makes life so much easier. This one is from my favorite brand, Mish Aesthetics. Now let's move on to our volume and pickup tweezer. These tweezers, you have to find the perfect one that fits for you. And over time, you'll try different ones that you love versus ones that you don't. My personal favorite is this one. It's called MILF from Mish Aesthetics. It's a titanium style carbon fiber pickup tweezer, and I love using this one for classic, hybrid, volume, any style. This one I feel like is so universal. I love the way it picks up my fans. It has the perfect sweet spot. You don't have to go look for it. It's just there. And I like how easy I can just squeeze it without having to put too much hand pressure. Compared to this one, personally, I don't like this one, but I'm demonstrating why I don't like this one. So I don't know if you can tell how thick it is. And the boot is just very chunky. And in order for me to squeeze it, I have to put a lot of hand pressure because if I just try it very slightly, it doesn't squeeze completely. You see that? So I have to put more pressure. And over time, your hand gets tired and strained. And that's why you get the arthritis, hand cramps. And we want to avoid that. So that's why I say it's important to look for tweezers that you love. So look at this one. I squeeze it ever so slightly and it squeezes. But then if I do this one, I have to put more pressure. So invest in good quality tweezers. Look for ones that work for you. Personally, like I said, I like the Mish Aesthetics MILF. These are my personal favorite. I've been using them for years. I have a ton of these because they're my favorite. I highly recommend these. Let me demonstrate what I mean by picking up a fan with this tweezer versus this other tweezer that's not the greatest. Let's start with the good one. So you can either pick up ever so slightly like this. Have a good grip. You see how no lashes fall off? I'm just gonna let those go. And I can just grip anywhere and my fan stays. And now let me show you the other one that doesn't have the greatest grip. So this one, remember, I have to use more of a force. It still grabs it, but I'm squeezing my hand a little bit more than I need to. By the way, if you're watching this, it's because you're ready to take your lash business seriously and take the guessing out of it. I offer a mentorship program that helps you build your lash business from scratch. The link is in the description down below to apply. Now let's get into spoolies. There's so many variations of spoolies, but these are the ones that I personally like. Let's start with our silicone one. This one is a silicone-based spoolie, and remember, spoolies are important because we need them throughout the whole service, from the moment we start our client to the last moment that we show them the results. So the silicone one, I like it because it can detangle the lashes nicely and smoothly, and it will not get caught to any fibers. And then we have our microfiber spoolies that are kind of like these little synthetic hairs that are your typical spoolies. You can find these in CVS, Amazon, honestly anywhere, as well as the silicone ones, but these are a little bit more common because they're more out there compared to the silicone ones. Personally, I like using both of them because you get different effects. This one, from the beginning of the service to almost the end, and once I remove the under eye pads, the tapes, everything like that, I'll come in with this one and brush it one more time, and it just fluffs and blends everything together ever so lightly and just makes it look so much prettier. So I highly recommend you to have both. I personally buy these off of AliExpress, as well as these, and these are the ones that I give the client, and they come with a little rhinestone, which I think is so cute, and a little cover that protects it from bacteria and stuff like that. Most people use microfiber wands. They're these little cotton ball style wands. I personally like to use lip wands. Why? Because you get a little bit more of a surface to really cleanse and wipe clean your natural lashes. So I like using lip wands because I can use them with my primer or my cleanser and even my bonder to apply to the natural lash and cleanse them very nicely. So I'll grab them like this, kind of make a little X like this, and clean it and swipe. And I do that for every lash, and it just gives me more coverage, and I feel like I can work a little bit faster because I don't have to go one by one. There's different ways you can hold your glue. This comes down to personal preference. Both glue rings and sticky pads are used to hold adhesive during lash application. They're the most common ways. I teach both because for beginners, the sticky pads work best. The ring comes in handy when you start working a bit faster. Your glue is one of the most important products that you need to make sure you attach your lash extensions properly and they last quite some time. In order to use and keep your glue safe and have it in its proper environment, it's important to store it in an airtight container like this one. I can't open it just on its own. I have to press this button and then it opens. Here's how it looks inside. It just basically covers it from moisture, any light exposure and stuff like that. I always store my glue in here. And this is the glue that I personally use. This is from London Lash. It's the Lady Bond. This one is a great adhesive. It's kind of fast drying, but at the same time, it gives you enough time to place it, but not enough time if you're a beginner. So this one's a little bit more for an advanced artist and an environment that is very humid. I would recommend this one. But if your environment is not humid and it's a little bit drier, I would recommend other ones from them. But this brand personally has been really good to me and I love their products. Remember, you store your glue before and after each use. You always want to have it in here, right next to your station. Glue rings allow for quick and easy access to adhesive, reducing the time it takes to dip and place lashes. Sticky pads offer more surface area, making them ideal for artists who prefer to work from a flat surface. Let's make a sticky pad. So to make a sticky pad, you can use actual sticky pads or microfiber tape. I personally like to use this microfiber tape. This is not the same tape we use on a client. This is completely different. It's a little bit thicker and coarser, so don't get that confused. So I like to pull a little piece. I always like to fold it like this and have like 2 layers and then place it on your lash tray. Depending on the tape, I like to layer just to be safe and not transfer any glue onto my lash tray. As always, remember to always shake your glue before you start dispersing a drop. You're gonna shake it, make sure you hear the little noise, 30 to 60 seconds. Open it, should be nice and clean. Always have your lint-free wipes next to you. And you're gonna place a little dome drop onto your sticky pad. So you see how it's like little dome ball? That's the perfect amount of glue. You don't need any more than that for the time being. And that's basically how you use a sticky pad. It's on your lash tray itself. So let's say I'm lashing and I'm using a sticky pad. If I dip my lash into my glue and I take it from here, from the glue to the eye, you see the distance that I have to travel to get it to the natural lash. By that time, if I'm not fast enough, my glue has dried already. As to why I like the glue ring, because you have it right here next to your client's face. There's a huge difference when you're working with a glue ring and a sticky pad. So it just really depends on your speed. If you're on the slower side, I recommend you a glue ring. That way your glue doesn't dry out on you by the time you reach your natural lash. So you gotta pick your option and which one works best for you as an artist. Try both and see which one you like as well. A lash pillow provides a sturdy surface for your tools and comfort for your client. Not only does it create a smooth surface for placing your lash trays and tweezers, but it also supports your client's neck, making the experience more comfortable. So here I have two examples, and personally, I purchased this one from a reputable brand and it was expensive, but I hate it. And then I purchased this other one from a different brand that's a lot cheaper and I love it. So sometimes paying more doesn't mean it'll be better. And let me show you why I like this one versus this one. So as you can see already, this one is just, it looks like a straight flat pillow. There's no real like structure to it. Yes, it's soft and it's plush, but when the client lays down, this thingy goes up like this. And so you don't have a flat surface. It just pops up. That's why I don't like it. So if you see something like this, don't get it. Get something more like this. This one, you see how it has its little crevice? When the client lays here, this stays like that. This stays nice and flat. It's just so much easier to work with a pillow like this versus a pillow like this. So a lash pillow is highly recommended. I personally love it because it gives you that extra surface if you need it, and your client is nice and comfy in a pillow like this because it supports their neck and also make sure that it molds to their head structure. So I personally prefer to have a lash pillow like this versus this. And I'll put my little model, my person right here. Then I have my lash tray right here. It gives me nice comfort for my forearms to put and tweeze and lash nicely. A handheld-free fan is a great addition to your toolkit. This fan allows lashes to dry while you continue with other tasks, saving you time and effort. Before beginning a lash service, it's crucial to thoroughly wash and prep the client's lashes. You'll need a water pump, lash wash, and a lash brush to ensure all dirt, oil, and makeup are removed. We will cover this in Module 2, preparing your client for lash application. A lash mirror helps you view your work from below, ensuring the lashes are applied evenly and beautifully. Use a small mirror for your own work checks and a larger one to show your clients the final results. Remember, once you clean and sanitize your tweezers and sterilize them, you want to put them away in a labeled, clean tweezer box. It's important to label your toolboxes because if safe board ever comes into your work environment, they're going to ask for this. So they want to see that this is there, and if it's not, it's a fine, and you want to avoid that. It's important to keep them in a clean labeled container. I personally like these magnetic trays because they're easy to use and store and keep clean. So you basically just open it like this, and your tweezers don't move around, they just kind of stay put. So I'll put all my tweezers in here. And my tweezers are clean and ready to use for my clients. When it comes to your workflow, it's important to keep things clean and organized. And one of my favorite ways to organize my tools is using this container right here. I personally got it from the Container store and it comes in handy. As you can see, it's labeled by items and what I'm constantly using. And I love that my spoolies and my wands, they all fit in here. So I'll go and put my wands in here. And then I'll put my spoolies in this one. And I use these brushes to cleanse my client's eyes. And I'll put it right here on the top. And I store all my cleansing brushes there. And then my lash trays, my most common lash tray I use is always here, which is my mixed tray. And I already know that this one's mixed, but if you forget, label it. You can put a label right here or even on your tray itself. So here's where I keep my most commonly used trays. And I also have other trays that I use on a consistent basis, but not as often as these. I'll store those in a separate container. Let me show you. So for my other trays that I also use, I have little photo boxes. I buy these also at the Container Store, or even Ross has them. I've seen them there and they come in bulk. So what I like to do is I like to put a little piece of tape and write what's in here because I'll forget. And I just store my lash trays like this. As you can see, I have a couple. And I even have some that have designated lash styles because every client has different personal requests. So I have a client that specifically asked for a specific curl, so I'll store the lash trays in here and the lash tray itself in here. And it's just like a little clean container box, so get creative on how to store your lash trays. But always make sure they're covered in a tight container and make sure they're not getting squished because you don't want to squish the extensions itself. Your lash guard is an essential key component to your workflow. Remember, you want to work smartly and efficiently. So having a clean, well-organized lash guard is essential. First, you want to make sure you have tissue. Tissue is always available in hands, arm reach, and a clock that reads a thermostat and a humidity level as well. It's important to be able to tell how long it's been, your temperature, your humidity, to make sure if you're having any issues with your adhesive and stuff like that. And as well to keep track of when you started and when you're gonna end your service. That's how I like to keep my top layer. And then my middle layer is where the container that I showed you earlier goes, where we store all our supplies. Remember, we wanna have them easily accessible to us. That way we can just turn around and grab our tools and get back to work. We don't have to get up and go get them if we're storing them somewhere else. We always want to have this right next to our workstation, which is our lash bed. And underneath, you can have any miscellaneous things. I always like to have things very minimalistic and clean and subtle, but a lash guard like this comes in handy. You can also get one that's covered. It's your personal preference, but this one personally has come in handy to me, and it just matches my aesthetic and decor. And I love that my little tray right here, this one, the white one, fits nicely. And I still have space right here to put other stuff. As you can see, my cart here is open and I have to get extra accessories to make sure that my stuff are closed and contained in a proper sealed place. Versus if you get a cart that's already closed and it has drawers, it's already keeping your stuff clean and closed in a contained space. So all you would have to get is like maybe little dividers, little containers like that, instead of having to add like this box, a basket, and all these other stuff. So a closed one will come in handy as well. So like I said, is your personal preference. You can even just have a trolley just for your services and then have a separate area for your tools. Whatever works best for you. I personally like this. It's clean, it's simple to me, but it's just personal preference at the end of the day. When choosing a lash bed, it depends on your priorities. Electric beds look super professional and are super comfy for long sessions, but they're bulky and come with extra cords. Foldable massage beds are more affordable and easy to move, but they're not adjustable and can get uncomfortable over time. As we mentioned before, there's many types of lash beds. There's electric beds, but like I said, they're bulky. There's a lot of cords and stuff to deal with. There's also foldable beds, and those are a little bit easier. At the end of the day, it's your personal preference, but I love electric beds, and whenever you can, I would highly invest in one because not only does it make your life easier, but it gives a more comfortable experience for your client as well. So let me demonstrate why I like this bed specifically. This bed here, I bought it from Alibaba. It comes with a little cord like this, a little remote, and you can literally adjust it to go all the way back and lay flat if you want your client in a specific position. It can also adjust the leg rest, and it can adjust in height. If I wanted to, I can lash standing up. That's the cool part. Like throughout the day, let's say you have a few clients and you get tired of sitting, you can just stand up and raise this all the way up and you're lashing. And you don't have to get your client to get off, adjust the bed, get her back on like a regular massage table would. This one, you just press a button, and as you can see, this is rising, and I can push this one all the way down. Your client doesn't feel a thing. They're just kind of there chilling. And this is why I like an electrical bed. So whenever you get a chance, I highly recommend you to invest into one. When selecting a lash chair, it's important to find one that suits you and your body type best. Lash chairs, we spend so much time on them, so we want to make sure they're comfy and they work for us. So here's one of them. This is a saddle chair. Personally, I have a love and hate relationship with this one. This one is nice for maybe 1 or 2 clients, and then afterwards it starts hurting over a long period of time. So with this one, what I do like about it is when you sit on it, you straddle it, your buttocks is kind of at the edge, and your feet are planted flat on the ground, and you adjust this to whatever your height is. You want to make sure that you're not like too low, but you're not too high. The purpose of this one is to keep your spine aligned and your torso nice and tucked. No matter what chair you have, you always want to have your torso tucked in when you're lashing. That way you keep a straight back and you're not like this, hovering and hunching over. And that's why you get that back pain. You know, you want to avoid that. So you want to make sure that your feet are planted and you're like really pretty open. You know, both your legs are there. You're kind of tilting forward and tucking your tummy straight back and start lashing. It kind of feels like you're holding your breath. Don't forget to breathe. And this is the perfect posture position you want to be if you select a saddle chair. Saddle chair is for those who don't mind being wide-legged open all day long. It can be good for some people. It's just personal preference. And there's different types of saddle chairs, so many out there on the market. You just have to see which one works best for you. Another chair I absolutely love is this one. This has been an investment for me. This is by Autonomous. It is the Flexi one. It's kind of a dupe of the Herman Miller. If you guys don't know who Herman Miller is a very high-end office chair designer. So this is like a dupe of theirs. Look at the spine. It has such a pretty chair. This chair runs around $300, but for me it was an investment, and let me show you why. Not only does it give you the lumbar back support and it's adjustable, but you also have these hand thingies for your elbows that can adjust up or down and can tilt from one way to another. And let me show you why. For a lash artist, I personally love it. So one of my favorite chairs is this one specifically. It's an office chair, and it's an ergonomic office chair. It helps to keep your spine supported and aligned, and the support comes from your lumbar back, your lower back area. You have a little thingy that kind of just curves in. You guys can see the back, like right here. This is what I'm talking about, that curves in. And what I also like is when I'm lashing and I'm sitting all the way back from the chair, like at the edge, I can use these items, the little like hand rests, to rest my elbows and lash. And remember how I told you guys, tuck in your tummy tucked in, straight back, and you lean forward and you have your elbows supported and you start lashing. You always want to have your hands behind your client. You never want to be hovering over your client. Your hands should always be close and tight towards you, as to why I like having these elbow support rests when I'm lashing. And this is why this specific chair gives me that effect when I'm lashing. Not only is it comfortable, but it helps me feel secure in my area that I'm working. This is also another chair that I recently discovered is good for lashing, and why I like it. I personally have mixed emotions, but what I like is that you have a lot of space for your hips. If you have wide hips, you also have space to like put a leg up and, you know, crisscross if you wanted to, and lash this way. It gives you a good back support. I love a good back support because it kind of reminds you, keep your back straight, you know? So when you lean forward, you have that like little push in the back. And you can lash like that. You can even lash at an angle if you want to put your leg like this. It's very comfy, it's squishy, it's plush. It's not my favorite. It is not one I would use every day, but it is a good option to have if you like to cross your legs while you work. I don't gatekeep in my mentorship program. I show you exactly how I got booked, built a brand, and turned this into my full-time income. If you are ready and this is your goal, use the link down below to apply.